I want to get back to Ohio State because he was a part of, Peter, what they called the super sophomores of 1970.
Yeah.
The legends of Ohio State, and again, I'd lived in Columbus for 10 years. My wife is a Buckeye. My family's from Cleveland. I have a big spot in my heart for the legends and the heroes that have come out of Ohio State. And I was certainly surprised when I saw the Packers taking a Buckeye in the first round, But he was with a bunch of players that have moved on. We're talking about Rex Kern, Jack Tatum, some players that were I was born in 74. I know those names.
Yeah.
Um, how did he stand out amongst that crowd?
Well, as you said, in 68, 69, mainly played as a blocking back for Jim Otis, who was one of the greatest running backs in Ohio State history.
Mm.
But as an Ohio State all-time player, he's right up there. He's on their all-century team,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of that is for that 1970 season where they won or had a claim to the national championship. It's a bit iffy, but they did win the national championship in 1970. And you mentioned Ohio State to a degree, became running back didn't it? You had Otis, you had Brockington, Archie Griffin, who won the Heisman Trophy twice.
Yep.
Later we had Eddie George, Keith Byers. And going back to the 40s, 50s, you had Hopalong Cassidy, who had a good pro career at Detroit. So it really was, kind of running back and a lot of that has to be down to Woody Hayes and the system that he ran and his ability to recruit those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, Eric, what did you think about when you saw John Brockington as a youth? Because this was in your prime for watching the Green Bay Packers.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, Freddie Carr was one of my favorite all-time Packers, and he actually arrived before John Brockington. But John Brockington is the first guy that I think of when I think of being a Packer fan as a kid. Loved him in his first year, as Peter said. He was an interesting kind of runner. He was fast, but he also was one of those guys that loved contact, and he ran people over. He was sort of not Jim Brown by any stretch, but of that ilk, in that taking on contact was something that he really liked.